Greetings, everyone. Nate the Nerdarchy here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with some nerds.
Nerdarchy is Ted.
Nerdarchy is Dave.
And today we ask, is this half-orc on the highway to hell? You may have noticed our awesome shirts we're wearing. It's from our new sponsor, armorclass10.com. You can check out these shirts as well as many other shirts over at their website, armorclass10.com.
You don't want to dress like an NPC. All right, so today we're going to do another unorthodox character build.
We haven't done one of those in a while.
Indeed.
We're dusting off the goodies but oldies.
Right.
Inspired by your shirt, I see.
Indeed. So we're going to go with a half-orc warlock.
All right.
Everybody loves warlocks, and half-orcs don't get enough love. So let's mush the two together and see what we get. So we've got the race, we've got the class already figured out, but there's still some decisions to make. So let's get into it.
So we have to figure out the background. We have to figure out our patron. And we have to figure out if this is one of those builds where we stick with the PHB or we venture forth to either, other official materials or Unearth Arcana.
We also got to figure out stats and, what kind of character is this and how do you go about actually fleshing it out.
I almost want to start with stats first. I know that sounds kind of strange, but that's where I want to start. So I think we need to hash that out. We know what he's good at, and then we can pick skills based on what he's good at or what he's not good at physically and mentally.
Well, half-orc gets a +2 to strength and a +1 to con, right?
That is correct.
No pluses to charisma.
No pluses to charisma.
No.
So I think we should just put our 14 in charisma.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that, I believe.
+2 to strength?
+2 to strength. If we put a 12 there, that puts it up to a 14. So now we got a 14 strength and a 14 charisma.
And then what are you thinking, 15 con?
15 con will bump it to a 16, so that if this guy winds up going into melee, as he probably will, he's got that little bit more survivability.
So are we going to dump intelligence and go with his next lowest stat in wisdom?
Yeah, I believe so. That sounds good.
So that means 8 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and what does that leave us with, a 13?
13 dex.
13 dex. Because we're going to probably need that dex at some point.
That's
for
everybody needs dex, isn't it? The super stat.
Well, so here's the thing. I guess this is one of the problems. Is I feel like the half-orc is going to be one that you're going to want to go with. Well, you almost have to go with Pack of the Blade at some point, because one of the half-orc abilities is basically to do more damage on crits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to just not get around to that ability otherwise if you don't have.
Well, is it only with weapon damage or is it just crits in general?
It's only with melee weapon damage.
Yes.
It's very, very specific.
No Eldritch Blast critting.
Well, I had to be sure. I was like, I thought that it was, but it was like, if it did apply to spells, then the Eldritch Blast would give you the more opportunities to use that. But never mind.
But never mind. I don't even think this guy should take Eldritch Blast. We'll just take it right off the table. It's gonna take Blade Ward and True Strike.
I swing my sword and True Strike.
I don't even know if you can get True Strike as a warlock, to be honest with you.
It doesn't matter who can get it. They should never take it.
Oh, no. Nate has made the arguments for using it.
Yeah, there's a mathematical case for that, but we can get into that in another video. Let's just assume he doesn't have True Strike.
That works for me.
All right, so stats are figured out. So he's very charismatic for an orc. So where does that leave us in regards to his background?
So there's a couple that kind of jump to mind for me.
All right.
There's 2. I don't know what you guys are you're thinking, but for some reason, part of me wants to make him a sailor, and part of me wants to make him a criminal.
Well, I was thinking, a soldier or a gladiator.
What, using the
entertainer?
I hate that one. I think that variant
And I was
sucks.
thinking an acolyte.
Acolyte. Wow.
Remember we dumped wisdom and intelligence.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say he was good at it. This is a special kind of acolyte for when you're going to be enacted into the warlock's coven or something.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm with Nate. He should be an acolyte.
Okay.
He's convinced me. Yeah, but I feel like he got tricked. Like he was following the path of the righteous, and he was going to be like a priest or a cleric, and
yeah.
And then they're
worship Grumsh or some other destroyer of peoples.
Yeah. No. Maybe even a good god. I don't even care who it was, to be honest with you. But he gets subverted from maybe some of the other acolytes, or you just wanted to sit at the cool kid table, and they're like, "Hey, come sit with us," and they're like all happy and stuff, and next thing you know, he's signing up for this warlock deal.
Yeah. Okay. So I think so I'm with acolyte. Were we gonna say so? We got the pact. What type of warlock are we
So
looking at?
who is he? Who does he serve?
Okay, so at first I was like, well, if you go Sailor, I was thinking Great Old One, like literally Cthulhu, esque
Absolutely.
under the sea type person, right?
Deep ones.
Yeah, deep ones. Criminal, criminal, that could go Fey or Fiendish, really.
Mhm.
But now we're going like this subverted cult within a church. So now that really does feel a lot like that. That one is either Old One or Fiendish, but I think maybe more Fiendish.
I'd like fiend. I think.
So I was thinking soldier, and I was thinking of stepping out of the player's handbook, and somehow he got access to the blade pact. What is it? What is that on?
Oh yeah, from the Unearthed Arcana,
Yeah.
where the weapon one.
Right.
That is the stupidest of all the packs, I think. I think it is the weirdest one that
I don't
makes no sense
remember
to
it.
me.
So
Well, basically, your pact is to an intelligent weapon.
do you get the intelligent weapon?
No.
Oh.
Just somewhere, there's an intelligent weapon out there granting warlock facts to people.
That's interesting.
I think to make it bizarre, that's where I was going. But
Yeah, I just envision Black Razor like sneaking out at night, from its owner, be like, hey, but you got to do it in the voice from the Dungeons and Dragons PSAs. They're really all good guys. Go search them out on YouTube. But basically, they made Black Razor sound like Johnny Bravo.
I have to go listen to that one again.
So yeah. Not to be confused with Invisible Christopher Walken.
Right.
So, and now they're completely lost. I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Dungeons and Dragons, PSAs. Clayton Boomer was actually one of the guys. I think he was Hennet from those, which was the 3rd edition sorcerer.
Right.
Now are you more lost or less lost? All right. So Pact of the Fiend. I mean Fiendish Pact with Fiendish Patron.
There you go.
Pact of the Blade. Goodness.
Right, but we're definitely going to have to delve into the Unearthed Arcana with all the invocations so that we can make him actually effective with using that pack weapon. And also, like for feats, I think at 4th level, he should take a feat and he should take medium armor.
Yes.
And I think that'll take that 13 dex to a 14 dex, giving him a +2 and access to better armor. Because when he's going to be up there getting smacked with stuff, unless we want to say forget that and go, one of his invocations is going to be the Armor of Shadows.
You can switch that out eventually, right? So I say he takes that to begin with.
Oh, and then
Armor of
and then
Shadows,
upgrades.
and then once he gets the feat, he can switch it out whenever.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good
Makes
call.
you a little less squishy.
Yeah, with the idea of you maybe taking something more offensively minded as well, or Devil Sight later on, which fits really well with the Fiendish Pact, and then you can also use the Fight from Darkness trick, a couple times a day anyway, or a couple times per short rest. Makes you a little bit more effective, and plus rolling more dice as a half-orc is going to be better because you're going to have more chances to crit.
And when you crit, you do more damage.
And you do more damage. Yeah, he's going to be our first warlock to use a great axe, I think. Is what I'm thinking. So we did this. We've done his background, his race, his class. We picked his specialty. Now we need skills. So as an acolyte, we're going to get access to insight, religion, and 2 languages of our choice. Not bad. And then they get to stay with the church whenever they want. And which is
the cult.
Well, no.
Actually,
Legitimate. I think it's the legitimate church.
Oh, that'd be
they're
even
staying
better.
with.
Because then his patron's always like, "Hey, can you do something for me while you're there?"
Can you pee in the holy water? I feel like as the DM, I would totally allow them like the cleric feature with the cult or with the actual religion that he belongs to. That would totally work for me.
So that would also insert the cult into that religion that is.
Oh yeah, it becomes a plot hook in the game.
Right.
So. Which is always cool, but then you're definitely leaning towards a darker character, so it's like, how do you work that out? I mean, the way the way Kyle did it in your game was kind of cool, where he's he was actually like unbrainwashed from being in the cult and stuff. So, but he still had access to the warlock powers. So that part was kind of cool. So that's 2 of his skills. He's going to get intimidation.
He's going to get intimidation from Half-Orc.
And he's actually going to be good at it because he's got a 14 charisma.
Yeah. So we have 2 left from Warlock then.
We do.
Do we want to take Arcana?
I don't think so.
We did dump intelligence.
Ooh. Well, I mean, he needs all the pluses he can get then, right?
So
you don't necessarily have to be good at your skill. You can just train in it.
Well, I mean, I've done that before as a way of offsetting it.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. I mean, our choices are Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion.
Deception has to be one of them.
I would take Deception as well.
Yeah, with the background we're going with, absolutely for Deception.
Well, not only the background, but the fact that we actually have a decent charisma. So how often are you going to see a Half-Orc deceiving people?
Well, that's true. But so that leaves us with Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Now, see, here's why I say no to Arcana. You guys can tell me what you think. I feel like he got tricked into joining the cult and being part of the religion. Like, he wanted to be with the cult.
Yeah, he wanted to have Arcana for that purpose, yeah.
So I feel like it wasn't really, like, his objective.
I'm kind of going to go Orky on this one. I'm going to say he's got an interest in nature.
Okay. I would say he doesn't have religion yet, right?
No, he does.
He gets religion
That.
from...
He gets insight and
religion.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got a lot of interpersonal skills.
So I'm looking at it. It's either going to be nature or investigation. I don't think
he's not a history buff.
He's not a history buff.
It's not history. It's not Arcana. So
otherwise, he would have known the cult and the church trick.
Yeah.
He would have been ready for it.
I think he would have picked stuff up in regards to a lot of orcs are familiar with the outside.
Now,
so,
but it depends. He's half-orc though, so was he raised by humans or orcs? You know.
Well, I mean, I think there's still going to be some attributes to his orcish side.
Are you stereotyping our half-orc?
Yes.
You know what? I'm saying that I'm going to do a little tiny bit of meta here and say that I think the character that plays this person might want to eventually evolve the character into something that's going to be more like figuring out the ties between the church and the cult and either joining one side or getting out of it. So I think that he would take investigation.
Okay.
Just for that in mind, and maybe the half-orcs even start it. So if you can have him as a player character rather than an NPC that's like messing up the church, maybe that he's kind of still in the middle. Where he got tricked into it, but now he's figured out the patterns and started learning things about each section and learning more about the cult side. So he's kind of like knows some of the signs now, and he's paying attention. Where before his half-orcish brain was just not up to the task. He's still going to get it's a terrible score, isn't it? Like at first level, rolling an investigation check is like
he'd have a +1.
That's better than a +0 or a negative.
It absolutely is. I kind of feel the investigation too. I feel like he's got to figure things out on his own because he can't go to the church because he's like, I messed up. They're just going to crucify me. Well, these guys tricked me, so I can't go to them. So I got to figure it out on my own. And he's not really good at figuring it out, but he's trying. He's working on it. He's going to get better.
He's not abysmal at it now.
Yeah. He's at practice. He's look. One mishap, he's accidentally bound to a demon lord now. But mistakes were made. These things can happen.
Fool me once.
Yeah, it reminds me of the meme. You ever see the meme where the dude's like in front of the demon lord in hell, and he's like, "How did you even get here?" He's like, "Well, I was on my way to the kitchen for a snack." And he's like, "How do you end up in hell going to get a snack?" And the guy's like, "I'm not a bright man." These things happen. What do you guys think? How would you build a half-orc warlock character, acolyte? Let us know in the comments below. While you're at it, like, share, and subscribe.
You can check out our Facebook page.
You can get awesome shirts like these over at armorclass10.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.